Hello everyone and welcome back to another Top Korean Movies video by EonTalk. As always, I'm your host Ian, and today I've prepared a video introducing the Korean movies that raked in over 10 million audiences at the box office. There were a total of 19 Korean films ranging from a time frame of 2003 to 2019 that recorded over 10 million at the box office, and although 19 may seem like a lot, keep in mind the number of films that release each year. There are hundreds of movies that release each year, and with that in mind, not even 20 movies in Korean cinema history have reached the 10 million milestone, making the feat that much more incredible. In today's video, I'll be going over the 19 films that came out of Korean cinema that accomplished this achievement, and because there's a lot to go through, I won't be giving a detailed synopsis of the movies, but just the basic info regarding the films. Also, please note that the list was compiled in November of 2020. That being said, let's get right into the list of 19 Korean movies that reached the 10 million box office number. Starting off the list, the number 19 film of Korean movies that surpassed 10 million at the box office is the most recent film to release on this list, Parasite. Parasite was directed by the legendary Korean director Bong Joon-ho, who also directed other masterpieces such as Memories of Murder, Mother, Okja, and Snowpiercer. The film starred Song Kang-ho, Lee Sung-kyun, Jo Ye-jung, Choi Woo-sik, Park So-dam, Lee Jung-eun, and Chang Ye-jin, and recorded 10,313,000 at the box office. The number 18 movie goes to an older film that released back in 2005, The King and the Clown. Directed by Lee Jun-ik, who also directed Sunset in My Hometown, Anarchist from Colony, and Dongju, The Portrait of a Poet, The King and the Clown had a cast lineup of Ga Moo-sung, Jung Jin-young, Kang Sung-yeon, Lee Jun-gi, Chang Hang-sun, Yoo Hae-jin, Jung Seok-yong, and Lee Seung-hoon. This historical drama recorded 10,514,000 at the box office. Moving along, the number 17 movie is another relatively older film, The Host. The Host was directed by the same director of the 19 film, Bong Joon-ho, and is another must-watch movie by the legendary director. This action, thriller, adventure, SF film had a great cast of Song Kang-ho, Byun Hee-bong, Park Hae-il, Bae Do-na, and Ko Ah-sung, and had 10,917,000 people show up to watch the film. The number 16 movie goes to the oldest film on this list, the 2003 released 실미도. Directed by Kang Woo-seok, the man responsible for the films Fist of Legend, Glove, Moss, and Hanbando, 실미도 is a war film starring the likes of Seol Kyung-gu, An Sung-gi, Ho Jun-ho, and Jung Jae-young. The movie recorded 11,080,000, which is even more incredible considering the time the movie was released. Surely, in this time and day, it would have had even more people show up to watch. Okay, maybe not so much in 2020 due to the pandemic, but you know what I mean. The number 15 movie is a film that released back in 2009, Tidal Wave, aka Haeundae. Tidal Wave was directed by Yoon Jae-gyun, who also directed the comedic film Sex is Zero, as well as the emotional drama Ode to My Father. This disaster film starred the likes of Seol Kyung-gu, Ha Ji-won, Park Jung-hoon, Jong-hwa, Lee Min-gi, Kang Ye-won, and Kim In-kwon, and recorded 11,324,000 at the box office. Moving on to the number 14 spot, the number 14 movie goes to the 2013 film The Attorney. The Attorney was directed by Yang Woo-seok, the director of Steel Rain, as well as the sequel of Steel Rain 2 Summit, and starred Song Kang-ho, Kim Young-hae, Oh Dal-soo, Kwak Do-won, and Im Ji-won. This drama film was able to bring in 11,375,000 people into the theaters. Coming in at number 13 of 10 million movies is the 2016 action thriller Train to Busan. Train to Busan was directed by Yeon Sang-ho, the man responsible for Psychokinesis as well as the follow-up to Train to Busan, Peninsula. This must-watch zombie film featured the incredible actors Gong Yoo, Jung Yoo-mi, Ma Dong-seok, Kim Soo-wan, Kim Hee-sung, Choi Woo-sik, and An So-hee. Train to Busan is one of the most globally recognized Korean movies and was able to record 11,567,000 at the domestic box office. The number 12 film is the second oldest movie on this list, being released in 2004, Taegukgi, Brotherhood of War. Directed by Kang Jae-gyu, the director of Awaiting, My Way, and Shiri, Taegukgi, Brotherhood of War is a classic when it comes to Korean war movies. This is the movie I selected as the number 1 film in terms of best Korean war movies, and it's not only a great war film with great action, but it also has a really good story and gets very emotional. With exceptional acting performances by Chang Dong-gun, Won Bin, Lee Yoon-ju, and Ko Young-jin, Taegukgi Brotherhood of War was able to record 11,740,000 at the box office. Next, the number 11 Korean movie that recorded over 10 million at the box office is the 2017 film A Taxi Driver. A Taxi Driver was directed by Chang Hoon, who was the director of The Frontline, Rough Cut, and Secret Reunion, and starred Song Kang-ho, Thomas Kretschmann, Yoo Hae-jin, Yoo Jin-yeol, Park Hyuk-won, and Choi Gi-hwa. A Taxi Driver was an eye-opening film of the historical events of Gwangju, Korea, and is another film that gets really emotional. It's a great watch for the entire family, which is why it was able to record 12,189,000 at the box office. Starting off the top 10 list, the number 10 film is the 2018 released movie Along with the Gods The Last 49 Days. Along with the Gods The Last 49 Days is the second movie of the Along with the Gods movies and was directed by Kim Yong-hwa, who directed other good movies including 200 Pounds Beauty, Take Off, Mr. Go, as well as the first Along with the Gods movie, Along with the Gods The Two Worlds. This fantasy film starred the likes of Ha Jung-woo, Ju Ji-hoon, Kim Yang-gi, Ma Dong-seok, and Kim Dong-wook and recorded 12,276,000 at the box office. Next, the number 9 film is a movie that was released back in 2012, Masquerade. Masquerade was directed by Chu Chang-min, and other works of his include 7 Years of Night, I Love You, Lost in Love, and Mapado. I personally am not a big fan of historical dramas, but this is a must-watch. Starring Lee Byung-hun, Ryu Seung-ryong, Han Hyo-ju, Kim In-kwon, Chang Gwang, and Shi Min-kyung, Masquerade was able to bring in 12,324,000 audiences to the theaters. The number 8 movie goes to the 2015 film Assassination. Directed by Choi Dong-hoon, the director of The Big Swindle, Tatza, The High Rollers, Chun Woo-chi, The Taoist Wizard, and The Thieves, Assassination had an amazing cast lineup of Chun Ji-yeon, Lee Jung-jae, Ha Jung-woo, Oh Dal-soo, Cho Ji-nung, Lee Kyung-young, Choi Dong-moon, Park Byung-eun, and Kim Hee-sung. This action drama was able to record 12,706,000 at the box office. Moving along, the number 7 movie is another emotional movie that released in 2013, Miracle in Cell No. 7. Miracle in Cell No. 7 was directed by Lee Hwang-kyung, who directed Lump of Sugar, Champ, as well as the upcoming movie titled Good Neighbor, and this is one of the most emotional comedic movies out of Korean cinema. Starring Ryu Seung-ryong, Park Shin-hye, Kal So-won, Oh Dal-soo, Park Won-sang, Kim Jung-tae, Jung Man-sik, and Kim Gi-chun, Miracle in Cell No. 7 recorded 12,812,000 at the box office. The number 6 movie goes to a film released back in 2012, The Thieves. The Thieves was directed by the previously mentioned Choi Dong-hoon, and this heist film had one of the best cast lineups of Kim Yoon-seok, Kim Hae-soo, Lee Jung-jae, Chun Ji-yeon, Simon Yam, Kim Hae-suk, Oh Dal-soo, Kim Soo-yeon, Angelica Lee, and Derek Sing. The film was able to rake in 12,984,000 at the box office. The number 5 movie is another great crime film released in 2015, Veteran. Directed by Ryu Seung-wan, who has other great works under his name including Crying Fist, The Unjust, The Berlin File, and The Battleship Island, Veteran is a great action crime movie starring the likes of Hwang Jung-min, Yoo Ah-in, Yoo Hae-jin, Oh Dal-soo, and Chang Yeon-ju. The film was able to record 13,414,000 at the domestic box office. Moving on to the number 4 spot, the number 4 movie goes to the 2014 film Ode to My Father. Ode to My Father was directed by Yoon Jae-gyun, who was mentioned earlier for directing Tidal Wave, and is another notable emotional film out of Korea. If you're looking for a movie to watch with the family, I highly recommend watching Ode to My Father. Starring Hwang Jung-min, Kim Yoon-jin, Oh Dal-soo, and Jung Jin-young, the movie recorded 14,263,000 at the Korean box office. Coming in at number 3 of the list of 10 million Korean movies is the first of Along with the Gods movies, Along with the Gods The Two Worlds. Along with the Gods The Two Worlds was directed by the same director of the second Along with the Gods movies, Kim Yong-hwa. The movie starred Ha Jung-woo, Cha Tae-yeon, Ju Ji-hoon, Kim Yang-gi, Kim Dong-wook, Ma Dong-seok, Lee Jung-jae, and Dio of EXO, and this fantasy film recorded 14,411,000 at the box office. And now, just 2 movies left. First, the number 2 film is the second most recent film to release on this list, being released in January of 2019, Extreme Job. Directed by Lee Byung-hun, who also did other great comedic films including What a Man Wants and 20, Extreme Job was selected as the best comedy movie by the EonTalk community members on the 2019 EonTalk Movie Awards. Starring Ryu Seung-ryong, Lee Han-hee, Jin Sung-gyu, Lee Dong-hee, Gong Myung, Oh Jung-se, and Kim Hee-sung, Extreme Job was able to record 16,266,000 at the Korean box office. And finally, the number 1 Korean movie that brought in the most people into the Korean theaters. The number 1 spot goes to the 2014 film The Admiral, Roaring Currents. Directed by Kim Han-min, who was the director behind Paradise Murdered, Handphone, and War of the Arrows, this historical film starred Choi Min-sik, Ryu Seung-ryong, Cho Ji-noon, Jin-gu, Lee Jung-yeon, Kwon Yeol, No Min-woo, Kim Tae-hoon, and Park Bo-gum. The Admiral, Roaring Currents was the number 1 movie in terms of box office numbers with a whopping record of 17,615,000. And that's it for today's video on 19 Korean movies that reached 10 million box office number. All of these movies are definitely worth checking out, as evident by the more than 10 million viewers that went to watch in theaters. How many of these films have you seen? Which are your favorites and which are you looking forward to watching? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and would like more similar content, be sure to like and subscribe, and if you have requests for other videos, please let me know by commenting down below as well. Also, join the EonTalk Telegram group to further discuss with me and other Korean movie lovers, and support EonTalk on Patreon to express your appreciation of the content I make. Once again, thank you to everyone that watched till the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one.